Howdy, y'all, and welcome to the EEARSS Podcast, produced by Terrier TV here at Titusville High School. I am Frank. That is Bill. That is Cynthia. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. So we're going with the Cynthia thing, huh?
We are embracing this.
It sounds hilarious, so I like it.
He's going with it. Okay.
Whatever.
Well, then you can call me William, too. You can do that.
This
to
is Cynthia
William
and
Cynthia, yes.
See, I go by Narf sometimes.
Narf.
Right.
So your name is Frank. It's not Franklin?
It is not.
No. You know, that's my brother's middle name is Franklin.
Frank Edward Robb.
Frank Edward Robb.
See, I grew up being called Ed or Eddie because my dad and my brother are both Frank also.
Okay.
Every time I remember that, how confusing was that? Like, your poor mom.
Oh, pretty confusing, and not to mention the fact that I'm born on my dad's birthday.
No.
So it gets even more confusing.
Oh, wow.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
The DMV must hate your family.
Doctors, DMVs.
That would be terrible, yeah.
Yeah, most everybody.
Because I'm a junior. So, you know, my dad and I said I would never do that to my children, and then my dad was disappointed. So there is a William Lee III, and but I realized that I don't know about in your house, but I found my mom always said that I didn't listen to her, that I shut her out. Well, when I went away to college and I came back, I was in the house, and my mom would say, "Bill," and I would say, "What?" She'd say, "No, I'm talking to your father." And then it would take about 2 days of that, and I would not, when she'd say Bill, I wouldn't hear it because she's not talking to me. She's talking to my dad. But she was talking to me. She'd get all mad at me.
We all flinch pretty hard when somebody says Frank.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the reason I know everybody grew up calling me Ed or Eddie. At home, they all always called me Ed or Eddie.
How much of an age difference is there between you and your brother?
11 years.
Okay.
So did she just not want to start over, like learning a new kid's name? Like, why don't she was like, no, I've been doing this for 11 years.
Right.
I'm only screaming one name.
There you go.
Elephant Rhino.
My dad, with my youngest brother, he would call him my name, my brother Jim's name, and then the dog's name before he got to him.
That's funny.
And Michael would say, "Dad, come on, at least not the dog."
Every once in a while have called Maddie Stormy, which is her cat.
Which is her cat.
That's funny.
And
That's
she
funny.
just stares at me like, what is wrong with me? It's not even simpler.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I don't know.
It's just, well, you only have so much space. And usually it's a time when you're upset and you're trying to come up with things to say. And sometimes the name eludes you. Yeah.
Oh, my garage. I think that's a proper way to end it.
Yep.
Or start it.
Or start it, yeah.
Or move on to the next
Or
section.
move on to the next thing.
Whatever
Absolutely.
we're doing.
Oh, my garage.
Absolutely.
Okay, you ready to introduce our guest?
Let's
get
do it.
into this. So today on the podcast, we are joined by our dear friend who is here for the second time. Second time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like you've been on here a lot more than two
No,
times.
it's because I talked to you on the radio.
Yeah, we do. We do talk. We do talk a lot of time. So we are joined again by Kyle Bolduc
Yep.
of Bifym Audio.
Yep.
And Lydia Can't Breathe.
Thanks for having me back.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you
Yeah,
guys.
appreciate you being here. So since we've seen you last, you did an EcoFest event for us, and you guys have been all over the place touring with your band, doing different events for different people. I'm following you guys on social media, so you guys are always somewhere setting up something and doing something. I mean, it's nonstop.
Yeah, if we're not playing, we're usually setting up a show or something. We just did the Food and Wine Festival they had in downtown Melbourne. They had a bunch of them, though, like the same day, I want to say. Usually it's not like that, you know what I mean? But I heard there was like one in Cocoa or something like that. And there was
It's that time of year.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to take
Fall.
advantage of the weather, yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a good turnout down there?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was super nice, yeah, for sure.
What kind of bands were playing down there?
It was more like I don't know, like cover bands, but they had a couple of their own originals. But I want to say like soft rock. I know Gary Laser Eyes was one of the stages, and then they had a reggae band, and then they had like a soft spoken, like almost like folk, like girl singer. She was awesome though. Their band was like super awesome. I can't remember the name. I'm terrible. I do so many of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be hard.
Yeah. I remember Gary Laser Eyes because I helped set up the sign. So I was
That's
like,
a pretty cool
Also,
name.
that name
Boom,
sticks.
It's locked
Yeah.
in. Yeah, I
That's a pretty
remember
cool
it.
flipping name.
It's a cool name, yeah.
It's
absolutely.
terrible because that's not even the stage I did, and I can't remember. Yeah, the one that I did, but
Genius marketing.
they did great though. You know what I mean? It was a good show. But yeah. Other than that, we've been touring a bunch. We toured with Power Man 5000. Did a couple
Wow.
shows with them. They're like older Rob Zombie's like little brother. That's the singer or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we went and did a Incarceration Festival, which is it's pretty crazy setup. It's at a prison in Ohio.
What?
It's like an old prison, and they changed it into like this whole concert, Sirius SFM or something like that.
Sirius XM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
yeah.
do it. It's like I can't remember. It's like the metal thing or something, but
Wow.
they throw. You know how they do the Jacksonville show, Rockville.
Yeah.
It's the
Mhm.
same promoters that do that. So it was like crazy. You can like go through the old prison and take like a tour of it. And then outside, they just got like stages and vendors and
What?
stuff set up. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
It was like,
okay.
yeah, epic festival. I want to say, I forget who headlined this year, but it's usually like Slipknot or somebody like that. Like they have like big names for like the last bands or whatever.
All right.
So that was pretty cool.
Now, when you guys tour, do you like all cram into a van and go? or-
Yeah, we're the little guy for sure.
Okay.
We basically have like a Sprinter van, and it's got like bunk beds in it and stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, we just kind of travel in that, and then
So now, does your equipment go with it?
yeah, we have a trailer. We hook up a
A trailer.
yeah
Okay.
12x6 trailer, and we're kind of like the new age. It's like more digital and stuff now.
Mhm.
So really, we have like a drum set with us, and then like pedals that we plug into the PA for the guitars and the bass, and then a bunch of merchandise because that's how we make like the most of our money.
yeah.
So
Okay.
half the trailer is literally like T-shirts and hats, and you know what I mean. People still buy CDs even though they don't listen to them.
Wow.
Okay.
But I think only to get you to sign them.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what I
there
mean?
you go.
Yeah.
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 They
That's a
even
good idea.
yeah, they buy all the records and stuff again too, and I don't think a lot of people have record players, but they just want the vinyl, so we sign it.
My
You know what I
husband
mean?
has gone
Yeah.
back to a old school record player.
It
So
sounds
now we're collecting
crazy,
all the old
yeah.
records that we can.
The sound
for-
is so warm on
Yeah.
a record player. It's
Yeah.
crazy. People don't realize
Yeah.
it.
Do you
Oh,
have
yeah.
one, Bill?
Oh yeah, I have a record player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a record player and a jukebox from the 50s
Shoot,
Oh,
that
okay.
plays the little
It
45s.
kills him because
There you
I
go.
don't have the
Okay.
ear that he was an audio engineer. I don't
Yeah.
have that ear. So I'm like, oh, it sounds the same. It doesn't matter how you listen to it. It kills
No.
him. Every
Yeah.
time
Oh,
he
no.
looks like I've kicked a puppy. He's like,
Yeah.
no, you don't get it. It's so
It's-
much warmer.
Well, the
Yeah.
records sound great.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Whatever.
Nothing
digital
quite like
age,
it.
it will never sound the same. For
No,
sure.
it
Well-
sounds amazing.
What gets me is like there's groups that actually put the sound of the needle drop or something, the needle
Yeah.
run
yeah.
on their digital recordings.
Yeah, and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the technical term for that? It's like it's not reverb. It's good Lord. I've heard Thaddeus mention this a million times.
Oh, really?
There's
I
there's a
don't know.
term when you put like that weird.
Sample.
It's like a weird sound. I don't know what it's called. It's a weird sound that goes along with.
Yeah, it sounds like the needle running on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a term.
Well,
for
you know
it.
how when you
Anyhow.
got to the end of the record, how the needle running at the end of the record was, going whoop,
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
whoop. And that sound, I've heard that sound put on
Oh yeah.
A bunch of them.
on recordings.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, wow, okay, it's never going to die.
Nah, people use all that old stuff. It's just funny because now everybody just steals samples and
Yeah.
stuff. It's crazy how people even make music. Like when we go record and stuff, like it's just weird how like I'm like old school, so I remember just rehearsing the song so many times, and then like my guy's like, "Yo, like you need to nail this in one time. Like we don't have all day to be here, so like you better play it perfect, like all the way through."
Oh,
and you're
no
just
pressure.
like, "What?"
Like, that's
But now,
insane.
yeah, they just break up the parts almost. They're like, okay, you played like the rhythm really good that one time, and we're
Yeah.
going to use that part 8 times. So we're just going to take that and we're going to piece.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And you used to have to play it through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and now they just want to take the absolute best one. Like you play it through, and then they take the best
Take
one.
the best one.
And they're like, we're going to do this one 8 times. This is the best you played it. So, and then you're like,
Wow.
whatever,
Like,
dude.
okay.
Yeah, just make me famous, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make
I
it
just
sound great.
remember listening to it. And I love Bob Dylan.
Of course.
And Bob Dylan would always recorded, live.
Yeah.
It wasn't multi-track. It was the band got in there and we played it.
Yeah.
And they tried to get him to do multi-track, and he did one album and didn't like it. But the whole idea that, Eric Clapton once said that, you get in with Bob and you watch his hands for the changes, and you just go through because you never know what it's going to be. And there's something to be said for that but that's kind of gone away now.
Nobody's that good anymore.
Nobody, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's just built around the singers. You find yourself like a really good singer, and then they just build, I feel like, the songs around them almost.
Right.
Yeah.
What are some of the unique conversations in a band you guys have between the singer and the rest of the people in the band? What? Because there's got to be some very unique
He
conversations.
might not
that
be able to share those.
Nah.
Frank.
I've always heard about these, but I'd like to hear
Some
hear
of that
from
is
somebody.
privileged information.
Yeah.
They hate me for sure. I'm like their boss, but it's crazy because I feel like other bands might be different, but even though I am the singer, I'm also like the leader kind of. So it's like more my band like than anyone else's.
Well, you feel like you have the direction. You have the vision for it.
For sure. And they also, it's like if I'm writing, all of the lyrics and I'm doing all this and stuff, like I appreciate everybody and I'm stoked that they show up, but I'm not going to listen to their opinion as much. Just like if you're at a job and you're the manager, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah,
Right.
we're all good. You guys can all talk right now and that's cool. Say what you want to say. I'm listening. But if you don't say anything of like super value right now, we're going to go ahead and do what we were doing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I hate being that guy too. It's the worst because these are like my friends. You know
Well,
what
sure,
I mean?
yeah.
It's leadership. It's the things that come with
It's
leadership.
the worst ever because I'm the boss at my sound company too. So I feel like they hate me less there though because I'm not as crazy about it, if
Right.
that makes sense. I'm like, cool, we did a good job. No one yelled at you. Pat on the back. Like, you know what I mean? But like, if anyone messes up at all at like a show or something, like the crowd
Right.
could go wild. We killed it. We sold a bunch of merch. You know what I mean? Everyone's having a good time. I let them. I'm like, cool. And then we get back in the
Oh,
van.
no.
And I'm like, hey, like song 3, like we were talking about it. And you like played that guitar part really bad. And like, you can't be doing that every day.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Kyle,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
perfectionist.
Yeah,
huh?
I'm like, and he's like, what are you I don't even know what you're, and I was like, well, I know it, and I confirmed it with Josh,
I
so you
confirmed
can
it.
ask him about it too, but you should play that part better tomorrow, you know what I'm
Uh-huh.
like, I'm like,
Constructive criticism.
yeah, but I'm not that nice maybe about it. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
So,
But you
But-
got to do that because you have the like I said before, the vision. You know what the end product should look like.
yeah.
And if you don't have that, then you meander
Yeah,
all over the place.
For sure.
And and sometimes you got to say this is what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I care so much. That's all. You know what I mean? Just
Mhm.
like I care, like that. I just want it. It's not even about it being perfect. Like it's
Right.
just about it being like I want the crowd to have a good time, and I think whoever the person is there performing the part, because we hire out guitar players and stuff, and I'm just like, yo, we paid you. Like you should really
Yeah.
be playing this exactly how we want. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Do you play any instruments?
yeah, I could play bass, guitar. I'm okay at drums, but I cheat coded on the drums. I just program them,
Okay.
so I can make and build like my own song by myself.
That's what I was going to
Yeah.
ask you. So
Yeah.
when you're making out a song, you're not just doing it from the lead singer perspective. You understand what each one of those other instruments, how they're going to fit into what you're doing.
100%. So that makes me even worse of a.
It's like a
person.
mathematical equation, isn't it?
Yeah,
It
and-
kind of is like math.
Yeah, that's how I always look at it, which is crazy. And I'm actually really good at math, not like, tooting my horn or nothing like that. But like, I've always been good at math. So when I break it down, I break it down in sections and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm hitting this, the guitar 8 times here. So I should probably only hit the bass 4. So that way it rings out like exactly like you're
Wow.
saying. And I know the kick drums, it's cool when I program it. My drummer's awesome. So I kind of like record him at our studio and I'll jam with him and then I'll go back and program what he did. and maybe fine tune it instead of like creating his idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if he doesn't show up, that's why I tell him. He'll always be like, "Yo, when we're practicing this week," and he'll be like, "Oh, what day?" And I go, "Well, I go every day anyway, so just let me know when you want to come, and I'll go what time you want to go." You know what I mean? So.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
What big things do you guys have coming up for 2025?
I don't know if I'm allowed to announce it,
Ooh.
but it's nothing super crazy. It's just like we got a string of shows in Florida. There's 4 of them. We're gonna play here. Winfield's the place over Satellite Beach, Florida.
Okay.
And then we're playing Tampa. And then I want to say somewhere south. What's south? Like Stewart area, but it's not Stewart. I'm trying to think of the cities.
Oh, like Port St. Lucie?
Somewhere down there, or Vero or something like that.
Okay.
There's another one
Boca,
down
maybe
there.
Boca?
Nah, it's definitely Stewart or Vero, or maybe even I want to say it's like a west. Either way, it's like South Florida for that one.
Really?
Yeah, and then we're playing Daytona with a bigger band that's coming in, and that's the one that we kind of group the shows. Like I'll be like, oh, we're not gonna just play one show. It's either got to be a tour, like a whole weekend. So we're playing Thursday through Sunday in April. But the I don't know if they've announced the big,
Right.
headliner for that show.
Okay.
So,
Good deal.
Yeah.
What about the audio side? Are there things this coming year that you guys are hoping to accomplish that maybe you guys are taking it to another level? I mean, I know you guys are growing exponentially.
yeah, I mean, now we're kind of doing the stages. Last time I was here, we weren't really doing the stages. But people kept asking me for them.
So like lighting and stuff?
Yeah, everything.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. Like setting up, like, I don't have the biggest stages yet. But
The
I
level of equipment you're carrying has went through the roof then.
Yeah, we have a whole new warehouse. I built a
Wow.
studio. It was an epic year for me. Like, I'm just working to get out of the amount of business debt that I, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying? I was
yeah.
like, yeah, we're going to do that. And that when it's all
Yeah.
done, and now it's all done. It really is all done. And now I'm just like watching the credit cards
Oh,
come
yeah,
down.
like, now I have to pay for
every
it.
month. You know what I mean? I try to play it as smart as possible, but yeah. But we did a lot this year, so we definitely need to be busy next year for sure. But I got 3 or 4 stages now that we could just build, and then I have like a couple different roofs, and we weren't really doing tents and stuff. We have a couple tents, but
Oh wow.
mainly the audio. But it's easier to keep my guys busy if we have everything. And people ask, like next weekend, it's like we don't have any audio, but we have 2 stages going out, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So, and then for food and wine, we did the stages and the audio, you know what I mean? And then they had another guy do all the tents and the lights and stuff, you know what I mean? So,
Okay.
Holy moly. Well, I know you're helping us out with what is the technical term, Cindy? What is the technical term for your event?
The Women's Center's trivia event?
The Super Bowl of Trivia?
That one?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the Super Bowl
Super
Trivia.
Bowl, you
Yes,
nailed it.
indeed. Man, why couldn't I put my head
For
there?
our 50th anniversary
Yeah,
as a
50th,
nonprofit.
flip
50th.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
You're not 50. Like,
No.
what's going on?
No, it will be my 14th anniversary.
Uh,
But it'll be the company's 50th.
Okay, here's a serious question. Give me one crazy story from this year. Last time you were here, you gave us a couple
Oh,
of crazy
God.
stories.
Oh, man.
So either from the audio side or from the the Lydia Can't Breathe side, give us an interesting interaction you had this year.
Okay, so I flew to LA to record 5 songs in 5 days, and it was with a really big producer, and I didn't know what to expect, but we basically just had to and we don't have time because we got to work. We got a bunch of events going
Oh,
on
God.
here. So me and the one dude go out there, and basically we get there, and it's like, okay, we got 5 days to do 5 songs. I've never done that. And we had a
Wow.
list of songs, to bring them. And we get there, and then I'm like, oh, I'm so nervous. You know what I mean? And we're setting it up. He's looking at the songs. He's just like, listens to like one riff. Like, you know what I mean? He's just like cutting. He's like, "Oh, okay. He's like going through, and then he's like, well, that was a good one. You know what I mean? All right, we'll go with that. And then we just take that riff. And then he's like, cool. So we're going to use this, and now we're going to make a song. And I was like, what? So we're starting from scratch.
What?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm
Like,
here.
no, sir, I've already done that for you. Here you go.
Yeah, it was crazy. So then we literally built 5 songs.
So it's got to be a little discouraging.
Wow.
It was crazy. Yeah. I was just like, dude, what's going on? Like, and then we would go back and then do it again. You know what I mean? And then we basically did all that, built the songs out, but it would be like me and the guy are finishing the lyrics in one room. Like, I'm like, okay, what do you think about this? Like, is this cool? Okay, yeah. And then the other dude's like tracking some of the guitar in the other room. Like, we're just like full on. And he's like, okay, cool. We got the part. Like you said, we got the one riff we needed to build 8 out of. Boom, here you go. Now sing this verse. Like, and this is, you know what I mean? So then I sing the verse, like, boom, track, and we're there every day. It's crazy like this. And then the guy kind of like sleeps in. He's like, no, you know what I mean? Like, I'm there. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, we got to be here in here all day, every day. This is crazy. And like, he'd wake up at like noon. He's like, you know, I kind of hung out last night. He's like, I'm coming in. Don't worry. Like, you know what I mean? We get there like late and then go like super late again. It was like this for 5 days.
Wow.
And I'm tripping. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, we just like, this is crazy. Like, we have to finish. Like, we got a plane, you know?
Wow.
So it was awesome. We got all of it done. But the last night, the craziest day of the year for sure, I'm sitting there. The plane leaves at 8 a.m. from like LAX, you know what I mean? And we're probably, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes away maybe. But I'm still like, dude, we got to get to the airport. Like, this is crazy.
Right?
Like, and it's like 4 a.m, like 4 a.m. And it's like, okay, we're on to the last song.
No.
Yeah. Like,
you should have been.
Joke. Yeah.
I am too type A for that. You should have been
Dude.
at the airport.
I was having a nightmare. Like, and then he's like, and I'm like, well,
No.
the best bet is to just do a heavy song. Because I was like, if we're going to do all this, because we did a bunch of singing and all this crazy, you know, I was like, if you want me to get this done, you know what I mean? We got to just go heavy. So we just like did some heavy thing. I like freestyle scream to like 6:30 in the morning. And I was like, you got what you need? Boom. Leave.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Rushed to the airport, got there on time, made it back. And I was just like, dude, such like an anxiety attack to the absolute max. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Yeah, it's
I
pretty
would
nuts.
have been dying. Dying.
So how did it turn out?
Amazing. Best material we've ever come up with. And he was saying it's because you got to catch you in the moment or something like that. And the pressure was like relentless. So it was just like, there's you got to do it. Like, just make it happen. I don't know.
People that are really good at their craft and weird things like that, sometimes they're very eccentric, I think is the terminology.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like one of the best in the biz right now, though. He's got a bunch of bands that he's done, like Attila, like a bunch of other big bands and stuff that are like doing good, you know, streaming numbers and touring and all that. So, and he linked us with another guy. We did a feature with a guy from the band Catch Your Breath. It's like a bigger band than us anyway. And he was like, yo, yeah. That was another way to get out of the time crunch. And I was like, well, why don't we let's do a feature. You know how everyone's doing like a song with somebody else? I go, can you get somebody on this that sounds like it? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, cool. That verse we're not going to do because we don't have time. Get the guy to do it. So then for 3 months after we recorded it, I'm like, dude, is this guy going to be able to get the feature or do I got to go back to LA? Like, I'm like, you know, what's happening? And then he just pops up out of the blue and he's like, hey, you know, Josh is here. He's like, he's going to track it today. Okay.
Wow.
And I'm just like, oh,
thank God.
yeah.
What keeps you grinding with all this? I know you have a serious passion for this, but what's like the number one thing that keeps you grinding on the music front?
I just love playing, but I mean, I've told so many people that I was going to do it and like, I never break character. Like, I'm this guy forever. So it's like, I just never surrender no matter what. I might be able to say, you know what, if I like, you know, hit it like super big and did it for like 5 years, I think I could be one of those people that's like, okay, I'm going out to the mountains with all my money. Like, I'm done.
I'm done. I made it.
But I have a goal. I've never not done what I said I was going to do in my life.
We've talked about the importance of that many times on this program.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we always talk about that. That's unfortunately a rare thing.
Oh yeah, we're dying breed for sure. There's not a lot of people like that for sure. I
Nice.
see the younger generation is not dealt with as much, I think, I don't know, like crazy work ethic or having to do it. And then I think the older generations than us even worked harder than we are, and we've actually become softer through it all. You know what I mean? No disrespect. They're smarter almost, you would say. So they're not even the kids, like my 6-year-old's as smart as I was when I was 10 because she's got all this internet stuff. You know what I mean? But she also is smart enough to where she's like, you know what? I don't have to work that hard if I don't want to. Like, yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it seems like about every 50 years you go back, people were tougher and tougher and tougher.
But
And
times were tougher.
no
Yeah.
doubt.
You had no
Tougher times
choice.
made
Yeah,
tougher
you
people.
had
Yeah.
no choice. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, you better be tough or you weren't going to be there very long.
Yeah, exactly. You had no choice. Now you got the choice. That's the thing. It's a beautiful thing that they get to live like that, but it's also at what point does it hurt us in a sense? You know what I mean? Like if we lose all the work ethic at a certain point in time, you know what I mean? They're saying that the trade jobs and everybody's getting paid way more right now. You know what I mean? Because there's not a lot of dudes
Yep.
that are willing to go, build roofs and break their back all day because there's 100 other jobs they can just do on the internet and make twice as much money. So then they started being like, yo,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Today's really sucked.
You
I would-
need us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to get paid
You need
more.
us. Please
Yeah.
pay us our worth.
Yeah.
Yes, very true. Kyle, if people want to reach out to you and find out about your company and how to get hold of you to hire you for shows or events, anything like that, where do they go?
You can go to bifymaudio.com for Bifym if you guys need any sound, lights, or anything like that. And then lydiacan'tbreathe.com for the band if you want to just check it out. Or
What
the
is-
YouTube.
What does Bifym stand for?
Best investment for your music. Yeah.
Genius.
I
There
love
we go.
Genius.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I don't think we asked that last time.
Yeah.
it.
No.
I don't think we got into what that meant last time. Again, another acronym. We were just talking about
Acronym.
Yeah.
acronyms.
Yeah.
Acronyms. Yep.
Ears still beats it out. Acronym.
Yeah.
Still, it's one letter longer.
Yeah.
What is it? What is that called on the acronym? What is one piece of the acronym called? Is there a terminology? Is there a term for one letter on the acronym?
Oh, do not know.
I have no clue. You're
It sounds like a
asking
trivia
wrong guy.
question.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think we
Yeah.
need to bring back trivia.
That sounds like a trivia
Dude,
question.
we did do trivia
Yeah.
last time.
We
I
did.
wasn't told to prepare for
Frank
trivia.
cut
this
it
time.
out, and
Yeah.
I'm sad. It
Oh,
was
we
my
just-
favorite part.
We just haven't had time to do it this year.
Well, also that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we've kind of all been a little bit everywhere this year, so we just haven't had the time to
Yeah.
get to it. But
Oh, yeah.
Kyle, thank you so much for being on here and chatting with us,
Yeah,
buddy.
you
It's
guys are
always
awesome.
always a pleasure. So excited to hear about the incredible things you're doing, and yeah, man, we appreciate you. Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
Thanks.
Bill, Cindy,
Yes, sir.
I reckon that's another one in the book.
It sounds like it.
All right, guys, I'm gonna end this thing.
Yeah, do your thing.
All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to the EEARSS Podcast, produced by Terrier TV. If you want to sponsor our program, we're averaging between 3,500 and 5,500 listens a week. Reach out to us at eearss.org@gmail.com, or just go over to alligatorrob.com. Rob has 2 B's. Think about it; it kind of makes sense. Rob. Blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, all right. Thank you all for being here, listening to us, and yeah, we'll catch you all next week. Bye bye.